Hey yo, what's up everybody? It's in JJ. Today we're coming back with a video basically talking about Celsius. They basically their withdrawals situation, and of course they fought for some bankruptcy protection, and after that many more updates on Celsius. For those who are new to the channel itself, if you are not subscribed to the channel, kindly hit the subscribe button, turn on post notification, and leave a thumbs up to this video. And of course, before we start the video itself, we want to basically warn you guys there's basically a scam outgoing. Basically people impersonating me, one of it, and after that, secondly, it's basically this liquidity bot that people have found on YouTube itself, and after that I have tested it, and of course eventually got scammed. I got scammed, and after that I made two videos talking about this scam, and after that hopefully people would not fall victim for this scam. Basically it's like a smart contract which you launch, and after that from there send funds to the smart contract, and eventually when you click on the button itself, your funds is all siphoned out, and after that from there it's a smart contract within a smart contract, so it is very hard to audit the code, because if let's say you do not have any programming knowledge or solidity knowledge, you don't understand what is the code, and after that you just copy paste your way in, and after that eventually get scammed. And of course on my video itself, hopefully thankfully it did reach out to some people, and after that from there people thanking me that they basically almost fell for the scam, but eventually did not fall for it. And after that I'm very grateful that people are watching the video. So if let's say you want to help the channel itself, I would say first of all share the video. Basically it's this scam alert video which I have done two of it. Basically one is the older one, second one is the latest one over here on my channel itself, scam alert. Basically two of it, I have done two of this content itself to basically first of all introduce what is the scam about, secondly is talking about an update, and after that basically this I would say this person have already made 100 Ethereum for me. And of course I believe that most of you guys who are watching this video, you might be desperate because of this Celsius fiasco that is ongoing. You're unable to withdraw your funds, and after that from there you are in need of cash to pay stuff and everything, and you got desperate, and of course you went to YouTube to search on how to make money, and you came across this video, basically the liquidity bot or whatsoever, and eventually you got scammed. And even worse, yeah, that's it. So I would say disclaimer itself, I'm not affiliated with the scammer whatsoever. I'm here to warn everybody about the scam. And of course secondly, Celsius itself, yes, I'm affiliated with them, doing the affiliation program basically to help the channel out by making free content, but eventually right now they are being screwed left and right with their balance sheet of $1.2 billion in basically in debt and everything. So we are gonna basically go through about this topic itself. So first of all, if you are new to the channel and you do not know what is Celsius, I'm gonna explain it to you. So for those who are newbies to the YouTube or basically to this crypto space itself, Celsius itself is a home that people call their crypto wallet home. Basically home for crypto. And after that from there there's 1.7 million basically people affected by Celsius network. Basically it is a very simple platform which you put your funds in, and after that from there they will manage your fund basically like a bank itself, and after that from there they will issue loans, and after that from there do peer-to-peer lending and everything to generate income for those who have deposited their funds. And of course on top of that, people can borrow on the platform itself, and after they eventually pay off the debts with the interest rate or whatsoever with the Celsius token to get even cheaper rates of return and everything. But of course eventually shit happened, and after that I would say that they are starting itself it was doing very well, and after that it is the pioneer of the crypto, I would say, account depository interest account. Basically over here it is based for crypto, and after that their goal is to basically F the bank, and after that from there return most of the gains to the user itself. But of course there was some mismanagement of funds, and eventually they are now in a very deep shit in the hole itself, and after that people are not able to withdraw their funds. And after that from there I would say I'm talking about millions and millions of dollars being locked up by Celsius. And of course the golden rule over here in crypto itself, you have to know, if it is not your private key, it is not your money. And of course if you do not know what they are doing, and after that what they are yielding behind it, basically you are the you. And after that I would say over here I understand how does this technology work, and after that from there how Celsius basically generate their money through the lending, through the DeFi, through many crypto projects. And after that eventually it was when the price of crypto deep 50 to even 60% or even 80%, some of you might want to call it. Basically they went into that deep hole itself, and after that from there they are unable to pay off the debts. Eventually they are leading their way towards here, and right now we're going to do some blogs update on Celsius itself, which is their memo for the Celsius community. I'm going to read it through with you guys. So we hear this a month ago, basically June 13th, they launched this blog itself. It's a 3-minute read. I'm going to link it down below, a memo to the Celsius community. Basically, they're writing to basically tell the community a very important message. Due to the extreme condition of the market, basically Bitcoin like dumping 60 to even 70%, or some would even call it like 80%. And after that, basically everything is dumping. And after that, from there, they're announcing that Celsius is pausing all the withdrawal, swap, and transfer between accounts. So basically, you have an account, but of course, the account is just a paper flex portfolio. Basically, the amount there itself, it is untouchable right now. Basically, why is that so? Because you do not own the private keys itself, therefore it is not your money. So yes, but some people like be debate like, I put my money in, I mean like it's my money, I transfer in and everything. This is not how the tradition how it works like in the crypto space. Because you don't own the keys, equivalent, you do not own the funds. And after that, what do I mean by that is basically the same thing in the bank. If you own the piece of paper itself, your dollar bills itself, yes, that's your dollar bill. But of course, if let's say you put it into the bank itself, it's not your dollar bill anymore, it is the bank's dollar bill. They do whatever they want with it, and after that, from there, they pay you a little interest rate on that. And after that, basically concept of Celsius itself is the same concept. And after that, over here, they are taking this action to basically pause Celsius to basically have a better position. Basically right now, with the dip happening suddenly, I would say, and after that, from there, they have some mismanagement of their risk management itself. It's not that good. Eventually they are hurt, and of course from there, over time, it is withdrawal obligations. So we here acting at the interest of our community is our top priority. So if let's say, to be honest, if let's say Celsius are putting the community as a top priority, I would say they will enable the withdrawals and after let people have their funds, but they can't do it because they are a centralized entity basically managing the funds and everything. So we here in the service of their commitment, they adhere to basically their risk management framework, basically is to pause the withdrawal because they do not have enough liquid to basically pay everybody off. It's the same concept in the traditional finance right now. If let's say suddenly everybody wants own a piece of like gold stock or whatsoever, eventually if let's say everybody head over to the stock exchange to basically redeem their gold with their gold certificate, I don't know, the futures or whatsoever, they can't really give everyone their one-to-one gold because they do not have that much gold in supply, and eventually it will collapse the whole system. So the system is built through this paper over paper, and after that, from there is the same concept on Celsius as well. So we here they're taking the necessary action on behalf of the entire community in order to stabilize liquidity and operations. So from, if you heard about the news itself, basically they have owed like MakerDAO like a lot of money, but eventually they pay it off. But of course right now they are acknowledging their Celsius debt of 1.2 billion hold in the balance sheet. So right now we're gonna basically jump into when can you like withdraw. So over here on the June of 13th, they have launched this article itself. Until today, it is still unwithdrawable. You can't transfer, you can't do anything. So when can you like actually withdraw itself is when Celsius has basically go past this one, basically cover this 1.2 billion dollar worth of debt. Basically, if let's say I don't know, I get a bailout or something, if let's say they have the amount of 1.2 billion to cover their debt on the balance sheet itself, if let's say they are able to do that, definitely I believe withdrawal will start happening, and after that, from there, they will allow people to withdraw their money, maybe not 100% of their funds, maybe like 25% at the start and eventually 50 or 75. If let's say that's the good case scenario. If let's say the worst case scenario is basically, I mean, they are already filing for bankruptcy, and after eventually, if let's say nobody bail them out or whatsoever, basically all the funds that we have in Celsius itself is going to be basically used to pay off the debts of creditors. And after that, eventually you might be thinking like, hey, I did not sign up for this, I did not have the obligation to pay for your company's losses and everything. But when you sign up on their platform, put your money in, equivalent whatever TNC they return, and then after that, from there, I mean like their Celsius itself, they are facing a lot of lawsuit and everything because of this situation. Basically, they promise everybody that your money is always your money, and after that, eventually some mismanagement that happened, shit happened, and of course, yeah, shit is happening. And after that, from there, to be honest, when can you look forward to our withdrawals? To be honest, I would say in this kind of scenario, in the real world itself, you will basically need to wait for 1 to even 10 years for them to settle the case. And of course, from there, if let's say they really have no choice, and after that nobody is willing to bail them up whatsoever, basically all of the funds that they have over here and the balance sheet of this deficit itself, 1.19 billion, which will be whatever asset that they have, the users liability, Celsius liability, the bank, the crypto asset, everything is going to be used to pay off whatever is here that you see on this balance sheet. And of course, from there, the deficit itself is going to be filed under this Bankruptcy Act. And after that, from there, I mean, it's a private limited, so it is a company, so there's limited liabilities towards the owner itself, and after that from there unlimited liabilities to the company itself. And of course from there I would say withdrawal itself, to be honest, if let's say I don't know, FTX wants to build them out, Nexo want to build them out, basically we can look at 3 months or even 6 months down the road, withdrawal being enabled for the good case scenario. Enabled means basically you can withdraw like 25% of your funds or something like that. Eventually they open up the milestone step by step. If let's say that is the best case scenario, the worst case itself, whatever money you have in is equivalent to zero. Don't account it into your portfolio because it is as good as lost, to be honest, at this stage of Celsius itself. And after that from here, we are going to basically talk about this Celsius filing for this bankruptcy protection. What does it mean? And after that from there, we are going to read through the article. So first of all, Celsius acknowledge this 1.2 billion hole in the balance sheet, basically a deficit, basically a debt. And after that from here, we can scroll down. Basically this is the I would say the balance sheet of the company. Over here, liabilities, blah blah blah, and after that from there the assets. So you can see the assets itself is 4.3 billion and the liabilities is 5.5 billion, and the subtract amount equals to almost $2 billion in deficit. That means this amount over here is 1.2 billion. We are talking about in billions, not millions. And after that, to be honest, to get a bailout of 1.2 billion itself, I don't think that it's very easy, because we are talking about in billions, and after that from there there's a lot of zeros behind it before it reaches, I mean, like look at a million is 7 digit, and after that from there if you want to look at the hundred or millions, it's basically like 9 digits, and towards the billion almost 10 digit. And after that, this amount itself is very unlikely they can basically raise for this capital itself to basically resurface the company. So we have, first of all, Celsius is one of the several firms that have been hit on this ongoing liquidity crisis of the crypto sector, and after that it basically halt the deposit and withdrawal on the 12th of June, and after that basically they hire some expert to do restructuring in the company, and after that the financial situation of the company, and eventually they filed for this bankruptcy protection on Wednesday. And after that, as according to this firm itself, the solution, they are basically people behind working with it, and after that crypto exchange FTX reportedly walks from top about this potential deal to basically acquire Celsius, and after that pointing to a $2 billion hole in the balance sheet of Celsius. So however, Celsius is started to make good on its debt collateralization, basically on the decentralized finance, and after that the DeFi platform protocols like Ava, Compound, and Maker, basically they have already gotten back their bitcoins from the loans that they basically took from this kind of DeFi itself. They basically paid off the loan itself, paid off 223 million. And of course, to be honest, this number itself is only 20% of this 1.2 billion that we are talking about. And after that, from there you can see that basically they have been closing their loans and blah blah blah. So we can just see about this, what is this for this bankruptcy protection. Maybe Google itself basically lost their limit, the amount of money, blah blah blah. Basically over here you do not understand what the fuck is this. You just need to scroll down over here. Basically what does it mean when a company files for bankruptcy protection? Over here basically and bankruptcy filing applies and automatically stay blah blah blah. Basically over here all of the assets is protected until the bankruptcy is over. So over here, what does this even mean? Basically until the bankruptcy is over. So first of all, Celsius has already declared bankrupt, and right now they are settling their fundings and of course trying to minimize the amount of deficit that they have in order to basically pay off creditors and everything. And of course eventually some of the creditors might not get all their money back. So for what does it mean for us user? So I would say for us user itself, we are basically having a chance of, I would say, less than 10% of getting back our funds. Maybe they are going to do some allocation in the court of law whatsoever to basically let users get back some of their money, and eventually it is not 100% amount, but I believe maybe we are looking at maybe 10 to 20% of the amount that you deposited in might be credited back to you. And after that, from there, until then, the creditors itself, the deficit that they have, the creditor, whoever is lending them money, they can't really go over to Celsius and push them for a deadline to basically pay up or whatsoever. So for this Bankruptcy Protection Act, is already a company existing ongoing into a bankruptcy, declaring bankrupt, and after that eventually they need to do the paperwork, so nobody can go and like disturb them to basically over here you can see it's limited amount of money banker company once owe or more basically must pay those who owe. And after the firm file for this protection after accounting scandal. So we can see they have mismanagement of funds, and after that from there they will file a bankruptcy to protect from creditors. Basically, those who lend them money, they are protected from them until the court of law or whatsoever say that okay, you can basically decide something out for Celsius itself. So to be honest, if you want to talk about my portfolio on Celsius, I would say with the Celsius token that I'm holding, it is around roughly worth around $4,000 in Celsius. And of course, some of the Bitcoin that I've earned from the affiliate program itself, which is equivalent to around 400 to 500. So I would say on Celsius platform, I have around 4 to 5k inside, but of course some of you guys might have even more crypto into it, like basically your portfolio might be worth 10k or even 100k. Some I know that you put in millions of dollars into Celsius, but right now they are going this shithole, and of course, to be honest, it is really unexpected, but eventually we can take this as a lesson. Even though how reputable, how somehow the company is going through regulation, going to be like regulated from the US space itself, or even though Celsius might be regulated in some states, and after that, to be honest, we can see that doesn't mean a company is regulated or have large amount of reputable reputation or whatsoever. Shit can happen, some shit that this can happen, and after eventually I believe the banks itself, even though the banks, if let's say banks hit onto a bill a scandal or something like that, they might be also declaring bankrupt. So doesn't mean it is regulated, it is stamped by the government saying that this is approved by the SEC or whatsoever. Doesn't mean that if let's say they file for bankruptcy, you get back your money. To be honest, regardless of which space you are in, regulated or not regulated, shit happens, equivalent, you don't have your money. So the lesson over here is to basically invest in what you can afford to lose. And of course, to be honest, this 5k dump into Celsius, honestly, to me itself, it is somehow I already explained on my journey how I gather my Celsius token. So somehow I already cash out half of the Celsius token at $1. So I've already like somehow made back my money, and of course some profits as well. But of course, those who came in late might not be that lucky, and eventually you are dumping in fresh hard-earned cash into them. But of course, eventually right now they are screwing you over. So I would say if let's say you are still looking for any passive income strategy or whatsoever, some ways to generate some money with your holdings, I would say Haru Invest is one of the company that I recommend a lot, because they do not use the peer-to-peer lending platform. They purely do it by algorithm trading, and after that from there, yes, it's super risky, and after that it is not regulated by the laws or whatsoever. But to be honest, they are the one that is still paying. They are still honoring their words and everything. So this is one of the way that I somehow lean towards on Haru Invest more, other than like this kind of interest lending platform. Because interest lending itself, we know that it is like MLM. To be honest, if let's say they are using the funds that you have to basically pay off, get loans and everything, and after that generate some interest rate. But of course, they can't technically, I mean, like if let's say everything is being secured into one kind of bond or asset or option, and after that they can't really withdraw the option until it expires to pay you out for your withdrawal. So imagine everybody wants to withdraw, shit happen, and after that it will collapse. So it is somehow one of the way that the lesson that I've taught over here on Celsius itself. And of course, it is something like it is a company that is not here to scam people like BitConnect or whatsoever. But of course, the situation itself, it is somehow similar right now. So to be honest, we have to just wait for the news of Celsius, watch out for their Twitter, and of course, hopefully the withdrawal situation might happen soon, and after that people can withdraw their funds. So I would say if you can withdraw your funds, that's good for you. And of course, for those who can't withdraw your funds, or you are taking a big hit itself, I would say it's okay. The money is there, and after that, money is always there to be made. You do not need to basically sacrifice your life for some insurance money, to be honest. And after that, I would say I wish you guys good health, and after that, eventually, if you have a good health itself, you can definitely make as much money as you want. Because just think about it, if let's say you started off with zero, you have already reached 100,000 or whatsoever, there's always a way to basically review everything. And after that, as long as you're healthy, definitely. So I've come to the end of the video. If you like the video, kindly leave a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and turn on post notification. And of course, I'm gonna see you on the next one. And of course, do not be derailed by this. Definitely, there's a lot of opportunity out there in the crypto space, but of course, doesn't mean it's regulated. It is approved by whoever it is, equals it is safe. I don't believe that, because when shit happen, shit always happen, and after that when shit happen, you are in the shit, and after that you can't get out the shit, and after that it is all over again. So I would say only invest in what you can afford to lose, and of course nothing more than that. So I'm gonna see you on the next one. Bye bye, peace.